Welcome on over to Automotive World, everyone. I'm your host, Vinny Mystery, and we are back. And more news from the New York Auto Show. This one is from Subaru, and this one is a big one from Subaru because the Outback for Subaru it's selling like hotcakes. It redefined Subaru. It's redefined part of an industry, and it's one of their best sellers. If not, a lot of times actually the best seller. So this is a big one for Subaru. We have an all new 2026 Outback. Let's get right into this. Things on this one, powertrain wise, it's actually kind of the same. You had that older powertrain from before. I think it made like 180, 90, or 180 or 190 horsepower. You still get that same turbocharged one with the CVT that gives you 260 horsepower here. That gets you about 3,500 pounds of towing capacity. Symmetrical all-wheel drive, 8.7 inches of ground clearance. So you still get all of that there. I think on the Wilderness ones you get a little bit more. In terms of like features and capability, like it's kind of the same powertrain wise. It's a carryover, but the biggest thing that you have is we got a new interior and a new exterior, and I personally think it looks really, really nice. So, 9.5 inches on the Wilderness model, 8.7 inches on everything else. When you get limited or more, you get that 260 horsepower engine, which is nice. Gives you a little bit more oomph, gives you a little bit more, towing capability, depending on which trim you get. They have it, breaking down here really easily. Wireless charger, Apple CarPlay, Harman Kardon audio system. All that good stuff there. Even on the base model trim, you've got blind spot detection, you've got rear cross traffic alert, you got the 12.1-inch media system there. You go up to limited trim, 12-way power driver seat with memory, 8-way power front seat for passenger, heated rear outboard seats, heated steering wheel, wireless charging device, rain sensing windshield wipers. Real nice stuff. Wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. Doesn't look like that's going to appear on... Let me see. It does appear on the premium trim as well, so you do get that across all the trims there. Looks like you have to get XT, limited XT at least, to get the 260 horsepower engine. Obviously, with the Wilderness, you get the same engine. You get better tires, more ground clearance. So you do definitely get some differences there. But really, the biggest thing, like I said, features aren't really too much change. Some of them have speed reduction, pre-curve, and things like that. The features are pretty much broken down here. We don't really need to go through too much on the trims because really the biggest thing is the interior and the exterior that's changed. So let's talk about, and let's just take a look at that interior exterior. Now this is one of the new colors on the Touring, the emerald green. So let's zoom in a little more. We can see here. Personally, I like it. I think it looks good. I like the design. I know some people think it's a little bit controversial. I do think the Wilderness version looks better than the other versions, but I think it looks quite nice. Like even the interior right here, I think the seats look quite nice. Patterns look quite good. I personally probably wouldn't go for the brown color. I'd go for the black, but the exterior looks quite nice, or the interior looks quite nice here. Buttons everywhere, nice soft touch materials, looks like good quality everywhere. I personally like when the screens are separated. I don't like those all-in-one kind of piece screens. I personally like the screen separated. This one here, it's an interesting design. Looks kind of old schoolish, but I kind of like it. I like the volume button right here, the power for the infotainment system there. This infotainment system is kind of weird because it makes me think of like a Windows screensaver. It kind of looks like it's a Windows computer, like it's just a normal PC, but it's not. I like the digital cockpit here. The steering wheel, I think, looks phenomenal. One thing though, Subaru does put a lot of buttons on their steering wheel, but I think the steering wheel, it looks phenomenal. I love the amount of physical buttons. I think that is a great thing. Love that all of this physical buttons, switches for aircon and everything Really, really nice here. I think that's done very tastefully. It's very simple. I like it's a physical shifter here. I do quite like that. I know some people don't like it because they would rather have more space. I personally would have a physical shifter. That's me. I like that. You have your two cup holders here. You got a lot of buttons here for like your around view camera and things like that. Electronic parking brake here. I personally like when vehicles do the electronic parking brake up here. I don't like when they do like that little cheap little kick brake there. I don't like that. I don't think it's good. I personally like this. I think it looks quite nice. Let's see though if we can get some other pictures here actually from the press release itself, because obviously we can see there's the wilderness there. Let's see if we can get some pictures. Because when you got it on here, it takes you automatically to their product page up there. Because they are ready to go with this thing. They're not wasting any time. And I don't blame you, because Subaru doesn't really have the resources to be wasting time like that. So let's take a look at this new Outback, because between this and then I forget what the other one is. Oh, this one, shoot, what's it called? Not the Solterra, but the Trail Seeker. That one, I think that thing looks phenomenal. We talk about it here, 12.1 inch touchscreens paired with 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster. That assist technology supports the driver supervised hands-free driving up to 85 miles per hour. It's usually pretty good for most highways. I don't think, that's fine. 8.7 inches standard ground clearance, 9.5 on the Wilderness model. Pretty standard what we went through. Honestly, in terms of the features, other than like little things like that, I mean, it's kind of a carryover. It's really just more so of the design itself that changed. And let's just take a look at these photos, because I personally think this thing got better looking, especially on the Wilderness model. I think it got better looking. So let's take a look at it. So these are the photos here we have from Subaru. Looks like they might not load in the highest resolution, but that's okay. We can kind of see it pretty good for the most part. I like the way this looks. Some people are going to say, oh, it kind of lost that wagonish look and all that. I don't think so. I think it just looks a little more boxy. I think it still has that essence of it. I like the way this thing looks. I like the way the rear end looks. It's nice and boxy and squared off. It kind of gives you a little, not a 4Runner vibe, but like a RAV4 vibe there. And I think the RAV4 looks good on the rear. I think this looks good right here. I quite like this design. Quite good. I like it. I think the wheels look quite good. Interior, we saw that. I think it looks quite good. It's kind of cool. They did the green on here. Not a lot of people noticed that, but I noticed that when I was watching the videos. I know a few reviewers pointed it out. It's really interesting to do green. I know back in the day, car manufacturers for their infotainment systems would do some crazy colors. Like, I remember VW used to do like a dark blue, like a neon blue, purple, and like the B6 Passat. Some people used to do green, some people used to do red. I know most people nowadays kind of do like white. It's very neutral. I don't blame them. But it's nice to see green come back. You don't always see green come back, so that's really, really interesting to see that. I think this thing looks phenomenal though. The infotainment system looks quite nice. I think it looks pretty good. Here's our engine here. Obviously 2 options. It's going to be 4 cylinders. No V6s or anything. I wish they would do a V6 or something, but it is what it is. And this engine's been around for a while too, honestly. Subaru's got a pretty good warranty. The reliability is okay. Obviously the biggest thing is CVT. Most people don't like a CVT. I'm not a CVT person, but that'd be my only concern about it. The engine's been around for a while, so it's pretty tried and true, honestly. Not really too much to go over here. There's not really too much to honestly hash out necessarily. Obviously, we'll have to see with pricing what goes on here, and that's with everything. And that's always, but just, with the tariffs and everything. We'll have to see how everything looks. This did get a little bigger though, so like length, size, width-wise, it was a little wider. It's a little taller, so you do have more cubic feet. You have a larger, more headroom, more legroom. But other than that, I mean, it really kind of stayed the same for the most part. The 2.5 liter, 180 horsepower with 178 pound-feet of torque with the CVT, or you go to that 2.4 liter turbo engine, 260 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque, same CVT with the 8-speed. You know, reliability-wise, I mean, everybody kind of thinks of Nissan for CVT. Subaru's has been around for a while, so obviously they've kind of had time to work out all the kinks and things. I'm just not a big fan of the CVT, but it's been around for a while. But other than that, honestly, it really, you know, this has stayed the same for the most part, so I expect this to be pretty much a carryover, tried and true. That's going to do it for now, though, for Subaru Outback. Let me know what you guys and girls think down below. Do you like the design? I know it's a little polarizing for some people. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, everyone.